my name is Alimi. My company, Owoafara, actually means money bridge. So we're bridging the access to finance. Now, successful entrepreneurs are people who got good at failing. I should know. I failed at my first entrepreneurial venture at the ripe age of 9 years old. That was the cutest picture I could find on the internet. That's not me. I always fancied myself an entrepreneur. I went on my first adventure when I was 9 years old. I bought a pack of sweets and decided to retail it to my classmates. And it proved to be quite a successful venture, as they bought quite a number from me at the retail price. And I would have made a handsome margin if I didn't eat some portion of the sweets that was meant to be my profit. Can you blame a 9-year-old? So after my initial stumble, I learned to control myself. And I didn't eat too much to erode my profit. And soon enough, I had become a mini sweet mogul. And by the end of the school year, I had saved up a tidy profit that was equivalent to $50. I was so proud of myself as I summed up the monies I saved in my little notebook. Now, the challenge though was I had the money written down, but I had remitted the actual cash to my uncle, who claimed he was keeping the money in the bank account for me. And when it was time to collect my money, I found out that he had actually spent all the money. And so in reality, I had no money from my 9-year-old venture. And I think that that's when I got serious about financial inclusion and why people should be able to make and keep their own money. So the first reason why failing forward leads to success is that when you see failure as a lesson, when you fail forward, failure is a lesson, and then you acknowledge your knowledge gaps and you can uncover the opportunities in your quest to fill those gaps. A few years ago, I decided to tick off an item from my bucket list. And the item I chose was to run a marathon. So I mentioned this to a friend, and he introduced me to a running club, and the training journey began. It was a grueling season of my life, especially waking up at 4 a.m. every day to get in long runs before the work day started. I pushed through it and finally got to marathon day with my longest training run at 28 kilometers. You all know a marathon is 42 kilometers, right? But I was assured that the crowd and the adrenaline will push me through the full marathon. The experience was so surreal. And at halftime, I had so much energy. And I stopped to record a video, the selfie stuff for my family. And I posted it in our family WhatsApp group. My mom promptly responded, "Finish your race." I continued my run until I hit 30 kilometers. And then I hit a wall. My legs could not move. My feet had a mind of its own. A massage was not helping. Energy drinks were like water, and I could not go on anymore. So I tried to push, but I gave up. I had failed. I was so humbled. I heard about founder's humility today. I could not cry or laugh. My body had given up on me. I confronted my humanity and maybe my lack of adequate preparation in the moment. So as I contemplated getting on an ambulance, a running club member saw me, my state of confusion and despair. As a more experienced runner, he held my hands and said we should walk the rest of the way. So I leaned on him because my legs were not cooperating. And by sheer grace, we walked our way to the finish line in 6 hours. We were one of the last runners, but I still received my medal. So although I had failed to run to the finish line, I failed my way forward. I leaned on someone else and walked to the finish line. So which brings me to my second reason why failing forward, a concept made popular by John Maxwell, leads to success. You fail forward when you confront your weaknesses and draw strength from others. An African proverb said, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go with people. As entrepreneurs who want to build successful and scalable businesses, we would have to lean on a strong team to execute. So finally, at the beginning of 2020, the famous COVID year, our startup Owoafara had just been accepted into an accelerator program. Myself and my co-founder, Sally, were excited. We were finally going to get the much needed investment to push our idea into reality. We were female founders, breaking into fintech, and we were beating the odds of female founders getting funded. We were so focused on the opportunity and building our company, we did not realize the world around us was changing. COVID seemed so distant from us, and we did not think it would get to Africa so soon at that time. And we were on a high. We had signed up 14 banks on the SME fund management platform that we had built. So as we were figuring out our monetization and about to really take off, a lockdown was announced in my country. In a matter of days, I think it was Philips that shared it, all our banking partners pulled out. The world was uncertain. They were not sure of the future and could no longer honor their contracts. It seemed we were dead on arrival. So we had two options: accept we had failed, or find a way to turn around the situation by failing forward. Now, if we accepted the former, no one will blame us, right? It was a global pandemic. Even though we had learned about pivoting, we didn't know how to pivot when everything seemed bleak. And I learned about the concept of psychological flexibility from Dr. Benjamin Hardy some time ago. And as I learned its meaning, I realized that we were able to fail forward in that period because we were able to adapt, persist, and change in the face of a challenging situation. So we became super focused, and we built a peer-to-peer platform in less than 2 months. And we launched our platform, Ruzo, in May 2020. And we stayed alive, which is very important for startups, right? And that's why I'm standing on this stage today. So the third reason failing forward leads to success is that when you fail forward, you adapt and change, which would most likely put you on the path to success. So whilst I'm still on the journey to building $1 billion company, which I'm going to do, I feel confident that armed with the tools I've learned from failing forward, the future can only be bright. Thank you.